Welcome to Hot Topics.
Good morning.
It's okay. Hi.
Good morning. This is Fay Chapel.
I just, as it's happened before, I go to, the different channels and I go check and I'm apparently logged into LinkedIn as you.
Awesome.
It's okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Living the dream. That's my answer to everybody who asks me these days.
Yeah.
So what's going on at the farm these days? I feel like we haven't given a farm update. So we're back here live at the farm.
For 24 hours.
So a few days.
Yeah, a few days. It's an ongoing challenge because the schedule is just getting worse every day. Think you're gonna get better, and then we got hockey here. Oh, we have this coming in. So it's literally like today we're at the farm. Yesterday we're here. Today we're here, and I have to drive down to Toronto with my kid for his practice at 4:30, and then we have to drive back up for his ball hockey
right
at 7:30. So it's a lot of driving. So you can't get as much done as you want because obviously you can't start a project. Like you can't start painting, which we have to go back to soon. You can't start painting because, you're going to be covered and you have to leave. So but lots of progress. We have half a floor in.
Yeah. So that was really exciting. I arrived here on, I can't remember what day it was now, Monday. I arrived here on Monday. And the floor downstairs. So we will be sending updates because we haven't sent them in a while.
No.
So pictures and what's going on here. So floor makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting because like cabinets have been painted, countertops have been painted, but as soon as you put that floor down, all of a sudden it's like you kind of see the whole space come together.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, now we need furniture.
But don't go into the studio because that's sort of the storage room / like there's no floor. It's like concrete. So like you go around the rest of the place and you're like, oh, like the bedrooms are great and there's a place to sit and watch TV and chill. And then you go into the studio and we're like, we haven't tackled that.
Actually, my two rooms, right? The studio and the wine room, both of those are
neither one of those rooms are done. Interesting. We're focused on other people, but that's okay. But it's coming along. So it's unfortunately with trades and getting product and construction, all of that it takes a long time. So you do have to be patient. I know people who've done home renos and people have gotten like divorced over home renos. They've lost friendships over home renos. Like you have to be very patient. And I think the challenge here has been, you take one step forward and kind of two steps back. Yeah. Like you're making sort of progress, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
But
my problem is always because I can see the finished. So it's hard for me to pace myself and wait because I know what I need to do next. Mm-hmm. And so when something's like when I've already designed something, I'm at the next step. So I feel like, why don't we have it done yet? Like, because I know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. See, the advantage that people like me have who don't have good spatial awareness or who do not have the ability to kind of visualize stuff very easily. I need to see it. Mm. I don't know what it's going to look like. So it's going to be a surprise. Awesome. So we just keep pushing through.
Yeah. But we're still, even though it's been busy, you've been out east, I've been doing this stuff and between the boys' schedules and everything, still have a lot to do. And we've been running GIA summer school and that's been going well. And we're really excited about the progress people are making, which is awesome.
You know what? Speaking of that, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. So it was very interesting. So I was having a conversation with a friend when I was out east who's not an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But she wanted to know, like, how's business going? Like, what's going on? But her biggest question was, like, how did you and Fay, what was her question? How did you and Fay sort of come up with your program? Like, how did you kind of plan that out and come up with the content and stuff like that? Because you offer like coaching and services and stuff like that. And I said, well, kind of explained the whole thing, which we've explained in the past, right? Things she was doing, things I was doing. We kind of mapped it out and made sense in regards to what order things should go in. And she goes, well, you don't really, like, you're not going to teach them what you do. So she took like podcasting as an example. She goes, so you offer the service. She goes, but you're not actually going to teach them everything to do in your program, right? And I went, no, actually, yeah. And she was floored because she goes, well, why would you do that? And I said, because that's called teaching.
Yeah.
Like it was so interesting for her. She goes, well, don't you hold back information because you want them to, use your services? And I went, no,
we don't want them to use their services. We want them to do it themselves.
Empower. And it was just so interesting because I guess from an entrepreneurial perspective, because typically you talk to people who are in business, they are like, well, yeah, you sell your knowledge online and you give information, you teach the person to fish, right? You don't teach a person what's the
teach them to fish.
Yeah, you teach them to fish. You live for I don't know. Someone put the saying, that saying. Put it in the comments, please, because I have no idea what that saying is apparently. But yeah. So because I said that's what I'm trying to do. I said I want to teach them to do it for themselves. I'm like every single solitary step that I teach is exactly the same steps that I take. And she was just like so floored because, like I said, business owners understand that because they want to teach, they want to share knowledge and stuff like that. And she just didn't.
Well, that's the problem. That's how you know. So that you guys, when you're looking for online courses and that's how you know if something's going to be good or not, because there are people that always keep stuff back. Those fearful people that they just don't want you to know everything they do because they think that you'll just keep coming back. And those are the courses that you need to avoid.
Yeah.
Right. If it says you must, like we offer coaching on the side if you need more specialized, whatever. Absolutely. But we don't ever push it.
No.
So the whole thing is if you go to a course and it says, here's the course and buy this course, but in order to really do it, you must sign up for coaching, run away from those.
Yeah.
Because that's not right. If somebody offers you the ability to learn something, then you should be able to take it and learn. If you have the personality that you need more help, then that's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. And the implementation piece, I know people want a little bit more hand-holding, a little bit more confirmation on what they're doing, all good stuff, no problem whatsoever. But if you have the ability to learn and you want to do things yourself, like absolutely. So it was just such an interesting conversation because to me, I was looking at her like, well, why wouldn't I do that?
Right.
And she goes, well, does Fay do that too? And I said, well, yeah, like everything. Like you can hire her to coach you individually on maybe something like speaking or
I can write
doing your
speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to. Will it be good? Sure. But if you take my course, you'll be able to write it exactly how I write it.
Right. Exactly. And same thing with like a digital product. I said, our GIA system, our Global Impact Accelerator is a digital product, but in that program, we teach you how to do a digital product.
Yeah.
And Fay teaches that pillar. And it's exactly the same way that we did.
Like there's no difference. And that's the key. I mean, like it always bothers me when I see a program or something out there and that you must do coaching or you must do this in order to really gain the results. And I just think that's like not cool. Like you should, like when you pick up a book, if it's a, non-fictional book, you're going to learn something and be able to do it. If you watch a YouTube video, how to fix a toilet, back to my how to fix a toilet, because I do that a lot.
Dishwasher, washing machine, oven.
You watch the video and you're able to fix it. If you can't and you need a little more help, then you hire somebody. But the YouTube video doesn't stop in the middle and then say, okay, but if you really want to fix it, if you need the next step, you have to call me.
Wouldn't you be angry?
Yeah.
I would be angry. It's a little bait and switchish.
Yeah.
Where you feel like you're not, or they oversell it and they say, we're going to teach you the system. And then you watch and it's like, well, sort of, in order to go forward, you must buy this super expensive coaching packages, which unfortunately we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So now don't get us wrong. If you're, you know how to do it, you just don't want to do it on your own, that's fine.
Mm.
Right. If that's done for you, that's fine. That's your choice. But just like I said, be careful with stuff that's out there because it's a little misleading. And then, my issue is that if somebody's holding back like that, then are they going to hold back in their coaching too? And then, then only give you dribs and drabs so that you'll continue with them. So choice is yours. If you are a coach or if you are a trainer that does that, shame on you, and you should relook at your stuff.
But that's not us. We literally give you everything on a silver platter because we want you to learn and we want you to know. And I firmly believe, and I have literally since day one, that business owners, even if you're not going to do it, I firmly believe you should at least know how to do it.
Yeah.
So understand the process, understand some of the technology, know how, even when it comes to social media, I know a lot of people outsource their social media.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before as well. Could Fay and I do our own social media? Could we do our own graphics? Can we post on multiple platforms? Can we come up with copy? Absolutely. 100%. And I do firmly believe that all business owners in general should know how. Same thing like virtual assistants, like hire them. They're fantastic. They're such a time saver. Social media managers. We have one. We love her. Probably more than life itself.
Oh, we can do it. She just does it better.
Right.
And so you have to make
more
that
efficient.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, look, like whatever we envision, when she does it, it's way better.
Yeah, I was like her yesterday. Did you see our post? It was fantastic. I was like, wow. But I even sent her a note. I was like, wow, mind blown.
Yeah.
But they can also do it a lot faster and more efficiently. However, and this is where people do run into a challenge, is that they'll hire a social media manager and all of a sudden they're like, well, I don't have access to my Facebook account. I don't know how to post. What were they doing? Virtual assistants, unfortunately, business owners do get into a situation where I want you to train them.
Yeah.
And then the business owner themselves doesn't know how to do it. So that's why we give everything literally.
But understand when we talk about online marketing, that if you hire somebody, you still have to tell them what you want. They can't they can't come up with everything on their own, because if they post something and you're like, oh, that's not really me, it's your fault, not theirs. Because you did not give them the right directive. And it's an interesting conversation because our pillar today in GIA is online marketing. So we'll be talking about this at great length at our live Q&A. But it's true. I mean, most people think they think once they hire somebody, they're done. No, that's just the start, right?
Go.
We have a conversation with her every Thursday morning, and she asks us what we want to focus on for the next week ahead. Or do we need to focus on something else? Like if we're focusing on, for example, we have to start promoting our conference in September.
Yeah.
And so
by the way, we're having a conference in September.
Yeah, virtual. So we need to start promoting that now, which means that she has to start working on the landing page and getting people interested and excited about it to join. So we have to tell her. We can't just say, oh, do a landing page. She doesn't know what's in it. She doesn't know what the conference is. What does that mean? What does that look like? So,
yeah, exactly. And I also think that people also need to understand how much time things take.
Yeah. That's
the other interesting thing when you're working with somebody, again, whether it's a virtual assistant or social media person, it takes time. Things just, they can't just do things like a snap, create an image. Well, sure. It can, depending on how much specific information you give, it can take a lot of time, or it can take a little bit of time depending on the research they need to do to come up with that post. Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else has been going on? Anything exciting in the news? School?
Yeah. School's going back in September. I was trying to watch the news yesterday, which I try to avoid. I don't like watching the news except for updates. So right now I'm very interested, obviously. I have 2 kids going into high school. You have one still in high school. So just trying to figure out what it looks like. And it's been challenging just to try to understand, how to prepare them, because it's just such a different world. And it's interesting because they say they're going to try to, what did they say? Make it look as much like they can pre-pandemic.
Right.
And then they went, except
there's nothing. No,
it's going to
this.
It's not going to look anything like pre-pandemic.
No, nothing at all.
It's fascinating. I love. So I think the challenges I like to watch. So there's a couple of guys, and this is where I'll give TikTok another shout out, because I feel like there's this one guy who takes the news, and I don't even know what channel it is, but he takes little pieces in bite-sized chunks, and then he'll do videos on them. So you really do. And if you watch, they're legit, because I do my own checks as well. I go to reputable news sources to ensure that the information I'm getting is correct. But he just breaks it down into super bite-sized chunks so you can watch it and get the highlights. And that's me. Give me the most important details. I don't need the 26-page document.
Right.
I need to understand the most important parts and the highlights.
And that's why I read Apple News.
Yes.
About 20 times a day. usually in the middle of the night. But it's the same thing. Like you scroll down Apple News and it's headlines, right? And so as soon as you hit a headline that you want to read about, then you click in and you read more in depth. So I love that. It is like my favorite thing, and it's an add-on service, right? But we both have Apple One, I think it's called, which is amazing because they give you all of that included in everything else you have for Apple. And but it's like you can find a way to get the most information possible. And the nice thing for me is, as I said, when you're scrolling, you find something you want, then you read it. If you have to watch the news, you have to wait till the story comes. And that's why I think everyone who's a younger generation doesn't watch TV, because they are not willing to wait to see something. If they want to see it, they'll jump right into online wherever they're going. And so that's kind of what I feel like when I'm scrolling through the news, to be able to say, okay, this is what's interesting to me. Or sometimes you find stuff that you didn't know you're interested in, and you're like, oh, I'd like to know more about this specific topic. So, you know, it's everything's changing. So you have to keep that in perspective as well. If you're a business owner and or you're a coach or whatever, and you're trying to reach people, remember, they're not going to listen or scroll through all your stuff. It has to be, you know, pretty quick. Like, this is what comes, you know, come to my course or come to my event. This is what you're going to get, because they're searching for that specifically. Right. So if you think like the old days, even like the, you know, the sideways sales letter and the 4 video, funnel, you know, I'm not sure if it works that much anymore. Now, for those of you who are working it, don't want to hear any, you know, hate here. But I mean, like, I think about it now and I'm like, do I really want to sit through 4 videos before I get you know, deal. You're being sold, which is fine. I have no problem. But do I really want to sit through 4 before I get to the meat? Like, I'd rather just, you know, you tell me you have a master class, you tell me there's an hour video, watch it and you'll get all the information. I'm good because I'm in that moment. But sending it over, you know, 4 days, 4 different videos, I'm not sure if, maybe wrong, but I'm not sure if people are willing to sit through that.
Well, I think we have attention span. Obviously, we know that from an attention span perspective. And from a video, I mean, we talk about video content a lot, and that's why we emphasize get to the point.
Yeah.
Right. If you have a 3-minute video, don't spend 2 of it introducing yourself. Get to the point, jump to it. If they want to know more about you, they can definitely find out. Your profile's right there on whatever social media channel that they're watching.
Yeah, I think we have to realize people are smarter than you know, we think in some instances.
Yeah, and they know their way through the concept. But you're right, attention, and we watch things differently too, because one of our decisions in regards to our Global Impact Accelerator was to give it to everybody all at once.
Yeah.
We're not dripping it out per week. And it's funny because so my son was watching a show and Netflix dropped the entire season.
Yeah.
So what he did is he started watching it, I think at about 3 or 4 in the morning, like Welcome to Teenage World, right? Like, I was very asleep. But at the end of every episode is a ridiculously huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we would have to wait.
Yeah. And then you have to remember what happened.
Like what happened. And then they would do a recap and you're like, oh yeah, right. And then you watch it. So you know, sometimes they drip them out every week.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, he ended up binging the entire season. I think he went to bed at about 11 the next morning, which is totally fine. He's on summer vacation in high school, so who cares?
Yeah.
And but it was funny because so then I started watching it.
Yeah, me too.
Right? She got ahead of me. I told her not to watch anymore, but that's okay.
I finished. We're talking about Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Those of you who are interested. Great show.
And it's fantastic, but their cliffhangers are huge. So I started watching it, and then I went, oh my goodness, now I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, because I was like, oh, I don't have time. Oh, okay, 45 minutes. I can watch one more or whatever. So I was on my computer and watching and stuff like that. But they've done a really good job with it. But we're in a world where, again, we're expecting when I'm ready and I'm in the mode, I want to continue. I want to continue watching. I don't want to be on your schedule. I want to be on mine.
Yeah. And so that's why in our course, you know, we are on week 3 of what you're learning. However, some people might be way ahead and already be on week 6, but we're keeping the schedule for people that want to do 1 a week. Yeah. Right. But if like, I know our personalities, we'd already be finished the program because we would have binged the program so that we can implement. Now that's not, you have to be good at implementation to do it that way. But, you know, we made that decision to say, you know, we don't want to penalize people that want to move ahead. And
Right.
that's really what was happening, right? Because I know that everyone says, no, it's best to do it at this pace. I agree if that's your personality.
Yeah.
But if you are really good at implementing, then why am I penalizing you and making you stop? Because then the momentum's gone, right?
Well, we actually had a few people say, I'm in mode.
Yeah.
Right. So I have the momentum, I have the drive, especially after I think one of our lounges, and they said, you know what, I'm just going to continue. I'm like, great.
Yeah,
go for it. Continue. So it's just interesting. So I think the way that we do business, I think we need to recognize the people who do need a schedule and they need to stick to that and have the structure. Absolutely. Here's your timeline. Here's your schedule. But for people who are a little bit more on my own time, I want to, just watch when I can, or when I'm in mode, I want to continue. Great. And that's me as well. I don't like to be, I remember I did this one program, and by the time I finished one, and it was really short, so I don't know why they were like 20-minute videos, barely any implementation, but I had to wait a week. By the time the other week came, I'd lost interest.
Yeah, it just happened to me with another course too that I'd signed up for, and I think I only watched the first one out of 12 weeks because I was just like, I can't wait. Like I forget there's other things that come. And I think, like, just put it in perspective, our digital product pillar. So you learn to create your own digital product. It was a standalone, they're all standalone products. Okay. So it was a standalone product that you completed over 8 weeks. Well, now we've given it so that you can complete it in 1 week, right? Mm-hmm. You can still complete it in 8, but you can complete it in 1, because there are people who, I'm going to create a digital product, I'm going to create it. So in a week, and like, if you can do it in 3 days, you can do it. Like, it just depends how 100%. Many hours you're throwing at it, because I am, again, we're both the same. When we want to do something, that's it. It's just like, we want to learn everything. So,
I'm all in.
So as we're, we're in the forest now at the farm, and I like all my cookbooks are forest cookbooks that I ordered, right? All this stuff because I'm all in. So I just wanted it. And so some people would be like, oh, maybe I'll buy one, or maybe I'll buy one. No, I just like, whatever I can get, I got it now. And now I have it. And so that's just how you work it. So I think you have to look at it, in the bigger picture. What can you change in your business, regardless of what it is, whether it's a service business or whatever it is, a product. What can you change to be able to give people what they need in a different time frame, because everything is now different. Like, even because of the pandemic, you expect your delivery the next day.
Oh, I know. I ordered something on Amazon. I'm like, what do you mean it's going to take 3 days? What?
And like, you don't even, it doesn't even occur to you, I think most of us, to go to the store, because you're like, well, they might have it, but if I ordered online, I know I'll get it. Like, everything's different, right? I'm not saying, like, it's nice to go in and browse, and there's some stores that you can't order online. But like, if I'm like, need something at Home Depot, I'm probably going to order it online and pick it up, because I know I'll get it.
Well, it's just such an interest, again, like, you go online to a store and you check inventory and stuff like that. Now, sometimes we like to browse, and we did that yesterday. We went into a couple of stores just to look around, just to kind of see what else was out there. So I wanted to buy my dog a dog bed, but I wanted to kind of see and touch and feel and understand. So we went to a store, and all they had was dog beds for small dogs. My dog's a big dog. So I'm like, oh, now I have another store. So you're right. Like, that's like,
it's just you wasted hours of time.
Like half a day driving to different stores. Now, we did find one, and that's great, but it's interesting, again, how your mind flips in regards to how you purchase.
Yeah.
Now you're looking online, you're looking at inventory. When can I get it? Am I willing to wait? What store has it? And if I knew exactly what I wanted, I could have driven right to that store and got it. I know what their inventory is, like, just different things, right?
Everything's so easy now. So you have to make sure, like, even if you're a little retail store, you have to keep that in perspective. It's harder to get people to come in and look at your stuff. So you're a retail store. My suggestion, if you're a clothing store, would be get your Instagram account going, and every day post pictures of your clothes, post pictures, have somebody put it on, take some pictures, show it, and say what sizes you have in it. I know it takes a little bit of time, but again, even if you invest in somebody to do that for you, a student, which is perfect because they're better at it than everybody else.
They're very good online.
A student, I'll guarantee you that you will get people calling, ordering on the phone or ordering online if you have it. And you'll never even see those people. They'll just order it and have it delivered, but they will have never come. They would have never walked into your store.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? There's a store that I know, and I don't know, I started following, I think I must have met the business owner or whatever. Anyway, they're a boutique, one single owned store. Every single solitary day, they're on Instagram doing a video, and it goes onto their IGTV every single day. New arrivals, here's products. She's the owner herself is putting on the different outfits, like I'm size whatever, this is how it fits. This one's good. This one's a top seller. Like every single solitary day she's out there, and she rocked it the entire time through the pandemic because she was getting curbside pickups.
Yeah. I mean,
because she took the effort to do it.
And I think the consumer now is much more generous in terms of, they don't worry about if it's like the perfect fit or anything, right? Like you don't even think about that. When you're looking online, go, oh, I'm a medium click or I'm a small click, right? And you just buy it because that's good enough, right?
Well, the sizing charts are good because I remember we bought a whole slew of clothing for my son. He won money in a hockey pool, so needed to buy clothes. And we went to Amazon, and he literally ordered every size between small and extra large. Yeah. But if you look at the sizing charts, they're actually pretty good. Like if you know your body, you can pick the size pretty easily.
And I just ordered a ton of little summer dresses from Old Navy because they were so ridiculously inexpensive. They were like $10 or something. And I was like, throwaway clothes for the up here. And literally didn't matter to me. Like I was like, oh, if it doesn't fit perfectly, who cares? They were $10, right? I would.
Well, I mean, with the stretchy clothes now, and they don't need to be like the perfect.
And so I didn't think about it. Would I return it? No. For $10, if it didn't fit me, I give it to somebody.
Right. Exactly.
Like here, this will fit you. But everything fit because you're right. Because the sizing charts are so good now. It's not like you don't even have to go measure yourself because you kind of know just by looking at it. So,
exactly.
So again, there's a lot of companies who've adapted to how consumers are buying now. And that changed. So just so you understand, that's only happened during COVID. Like there was people started shopping online. We were both early adopters, so we were shopping online, but then COVID happened and then boom, it's kind of like Zoom. Like nobody knew what Zoom, the word meant. Right
now, all of a sudden it's a verb.
Yeah, and we've been using Zoom forever because especially if you were doing any type of meetings online at the time. Now there's a million different competitors. We use a lot of different people. We still use Zoom. We use a lot of different companies as well. But again, nobody knew what it was a year and a half ago. And now everybody knows what Zoom is. Yeah. So again, you have to kind of stay on top of it and be able to say, okay, this is how the market is trending now. So I need to change. It's not a lot of work. It's easier for you now than it was 2 years ago. So what it means is it requires you to learn a few things. So, this week we're doing our online marketing pillar in GIA. So we're teaching people how to do everything in every single channel, right? So whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. So just doing that one pillar, you'll be able to do stuff on your own. And you don't have to come to ours. There's lots of information out there that teaches you. You can go right to the source. You can go to Facebook and they tell you how to use Facebook.
Yeah.
Right?
You can go with help articles.
Help articles.
Oh, good. But it's all right there.
Yeah.
Which is great. Mm. All right. We are going to wish you a very good week. We're going to see you here next Wednesday. We have a busy day ahead with our GIA Summer Lounge. Did I say that right?
Study
lounge, not summer study, same thing. And then we're just looking forward. So what we're going to do is probably over the next week, plan out some stuff for the conference so that we can let you guys know what the deal is. Yeah. So we're excited about that. So,
All right.
We'll see you then.
Bye.